miss me, Mackenzie? I missed you too. Even though this case is one of the darkest cases we've ever seen in Kashigo City. It was that time of year where the weather starts to change and buds appear on branches and crime starts to bloom on the streets. There had been a rash of murders in Kashigo, one right after another, like we had never seen before. And that's saying a lot, because there's a lot of murder in Kashigo City.
You want... yes, I do have a cigarette. It's already slightly smoked. Here you go. Oh. Well, my mother gave it to me. It's nothing. You have a beautiful necklace. I've never seen anything like that. It's exotic. Oh, I couldn't try that on. Oh, okay. Oh, fits. Oh, right behind me now. Fits very snug. You know.
And then I was like, shove it up your ass, Chauncey. Oh, I know. Oh, darling, you've come. I've been waiting. You look so mad. Is that a knife? Darling, why would you come here with a knife in your hand? Oh! Tell Chauncey he's an asshole.
That's right, every day the newspaper had a headline about another murder. No clues, no information. The police were at a loss. And the newspapers were at a loss because sometimes there'd be 2 murders in one night and they'd have to split the newspaper and have one headline on the left and one headline on the right. How do you report on so much murder? But nobody came to me, so it wasn't my business. I just drank like I normally do and felt the spring make me want to drink a little bit more. I was in my office watching the sun stream through that one little piece of broken shade that let the sun in. I don't ever open the shades. Sun gives me a headache. And that's when my old friend Rick came in.
Hey, Ruby.
You don't have to say knock knock when you're already in the room, right?
Yeah, but I just like to give you like a little bit of warning. How are you?
Good, Rick. How are you?
Bad. Did you hear about all these murders? Did you see the newspaper with the 2 headlines side to side? That seems like a dumb choice.
Mackenzie, have you ever loved somebody so hard that when you see them, your mouth gets dry and you can barely feel your tongue, but then it swells up and fills up your whole mouth and then kind of slides down your throat and you're kind of choked and you're like... Think I need to see a doctor, Mackenzie? Disappointed. You're a woman who's never really loved.
What's the matter?
Nothing, Rick.
You should drink something. Your tongue looks really weird. Put it back in. Ruby, put it back. No, stop it. Stop it. Ruby, we can't.
You taste so good, Rick.
I've got a case to solve. There are just no clues. That's the problem.
They put you on a murder case, Rick?
Yeah, I know. It's like such a big deal for me. Okay, Ruby, come on. Please don't lick my ear salt. Ruby, we had a whole talk about this. My ear, my salt. Your ear, your salt. It's called consent, Ruby, and it's gonna catch on.
Is this okay?
Yeah. Would you help me solve the case?
Yes, Rick.
Cool. I just feel like...
You know this kind of case is exactly the kind of case I would want to solve if they'd let me on the force.
Yeah, but you can't because of the being a woman. Generally,
It seems like a real stupid reason when it comes with that hand gesture,
yeah.
right? Doesn't it?
I mean, I've always thought.
Maybe if I help you solve this case, you can put a word in, Rick.
Yeah, except nobody can know. Because, like, no offense, but I am a cop, and I should be able to solve my own cases. And, like, it would look really bad on me if I couldn't. I don't know why I said no offense to you. This is a bunch of stuff about me.
I guess it's offense about me because it means that you're not willing to help, Rick. You're not willing to be an ally, which is a concept that might catch on. But that's fine, Rick. I'm used to it. And I don't need your help anyway. You need mine.
That's true.
So what do you know, Rick?
Well, I know that someone keeps murdering. They're using different methods, but we think it's the same perp. Perp means perpetrator.
For fuck's sake, Rick.
Sorry,
We've known what that means since your dad taught us when we were 6
I
years
know.
old.
And that's really it. I mean, honestly, like, no clues. Not just me, everybody. Like, here's an idea. We go to the last murder scene, and then you can see the complete lack of clues.
All right,
Okay?
let's go.
All right, but we have to go in the back door because of all the stuff we talked about
Oh,
earlier
God
about
damn it, Rick.
systematic sexism.
We got in his car and I laid down in the back seat so no one would see. It is 1934 after all. We went to 3 different murder cases. We saw a woman who apparently died of a heart attack after being tickled to death. We saw a woman who'd been choked by what appeared to be some kind of thread or string or necklace of some kind. And then we went back to the 3rd. It was the house of a very fancy woman in a very fancy house.
So, this we think is the body.
I can confirm that's the body.
Okay. I mean, you have the benefit of fresh eyes.
She appears to be stabbed with a knife, Rick.
Yeah, we think that's probably part of the issue.
I'm gonna say it's probably the main issue, Rick.
Okay, that's good. That checks out for me.
She was in the middle of a phone call.
How can you tell?
For fuck's sake, Rick, she's got a phone in her hand.
Shit. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, yeah, maybe the perpetrator comes in while she's on the phone. Maybe they had the knife.
I'm with you so far, Rick.
We're gonna crack this open. But the problem is, lots of people can get knives. Every kitchen has a few.
This looks like a sailor's knife.
How can you tell?
Well, it says USS Sailor. And on this side, it's got a carving of a ship.
Yeah, wow.
And it's the kind every sailor I've ever met carries. You ever met a sailor, Rick?
Yeah, but I just don't pay a lot of attention
No,
to
you
the
don't.
details of people.
Did you notice this, Rick?
What is it?
Looks like some kind of shell. There's been one at every one of the victims that we visited. I thought it was pretty, so I collected it from the first one.
I'm pretty sure that's stealing.
And then the second one, I thought, what a coincidence. This looks just like the one I got at the first one. I can put it with all my other shells that I keep in my bathroom.
Ruby,
But now that there's three, I think there's a pattern, Rick.
Yeah. This might be a clue.
3 shells next to 3 bodies that were murdered. That aren't shells that anyone has here in Kashigo City.
It is a clue.
Yes, Rick, yes.
Yes, we should go to a shell person.
That's a good start, Rick.
Yes.
I know a marine biologist down by the docks.
God, you know a lot of people who were around the docks.
Spent a lot of time there, Rick.
All right.
We've spent a lot of time there, Rick.
Yeah.
You just weren't paying attention to any of the people.
No. Should we just leave her there?
Don't you have somebody in the force to come take some photos, take the evidence?
Yeah, there's just been so many murders we're a little backlogged.
All right, well, I'm just gonna take this because I like it. Oh, it's in there deep.
Ruby, again, I feel like that's stealing, but we'll talk about that on the way.
Wow, that knife grows. Reminds me of something else, I know. We weren't far from the docks, so we walked down there together. Well, Rick walked ahead of me by 20 paces, and then I followed behind, hiding behind lampposts and signs and pallets of deliveries. I don't know if you know, but if I hide behind this lamppost, you can't see me at all. See how that works? It's pretty clever, right? We went down and saw my old friend who works with all the sea animals. She's a little crazy, but she knows a lot of stuff.
Knock, knock.
Rick, you don't have to say knock, knock every time. You can say hello.
Wanted to give her a little heads up.
I mean, I don't even have a door.
It's a general knock, knock. Doc, doc. Should I have said that? Would that been better?
Hi,
See,
Ruby.
I'm not always dumb. That was
No, that was real good, Rick.
amazing, huh?
That was real good.
Hi,
I'm Rick.
Ruby.
Hey, Margaret.
Oh, you're Rick.
Yeah.
He's a cop.
Why'd she make that face?
I don't know, Rick. Think about it.
What do you talk about me? Wow, that's so embarrassing.
It's the first thing you figured out all day, Rick.
Just get a room, Ruby.
Let's get a room, Rick.
Wow.
Margaret, we need some help.
Happy to help.
How's things down here?
Oh, it's so great. I just discovered a new species of cone snail. Never been found before. I'm gonna name it.
What are you gonna name it?
Name it Rick. Just an idea, just an idea.
I'm Rick Cone brick cone snail.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this before?
Oh. Yeah. 2 of them?
Yeah. They're little round shells with a hole in the middle.
You know what this is?
No, we don't. That's why we came here.
Yeah. These are puka shells. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Well, they're little bits of cone snails. And there's over 500 different kinds of cone snails in the world. All of them really extremely venomous. They don't look venomous, but they are. Sorry, I just got so excited.
Wow, this feels like a true passion for you.
It's true, these little guys, you'd never know it, but they have a hole. Puka is Hawaiian for hole, and they got a hole in them. And there's a proboscis that comes out of it and shoots venom. And it was like if it was gonna eat you, it'd be like your mouth got dry, and it filled your whole mouth, and then it went down your throat. But you're not a fish, so it won't do that to you, but it does that. And if they're so pretty and everybody makes necklaces out of them, this is amazing. These are really exotic. I know exactly where this is from.
Mackenzie, while she was talking, her eyes filled with tears. You know why? Because she knows how to fucking love.
You know, sometimes I just look at these little guys and I think, how is it amazing? Is it possible that these things exist? They're so small and they're so venomous and they are so beautiful. They are so beautiful. I've never seen one in person ever.
Do you have any idea why we might be finding these shells here in Kashigo City?
How many have you found?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Is that true? I don't know. I'm going to ask Ruby.
So far, 3.
Okay.
We found 3 of these shells at 3 different murder scenes, and the only thing in common are these shells.
These are evidence?
Yeah,
What?
It doesn't matter.
It feels like there should be a system for this.
I think taking them
I
was
feel like-
stealing. I really do.
I don't-
I don't know. I just do.
It's not stealing, Rick. It's tampering with evidence. For fuck's sake, at least accuse me of the right crime. You're a cop. Sorry, Mark.
Well, I've just seen those in the literature as being, I think they look like the kind that are on the west side of Kona, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
What? Could you say what you were going to say, though?
No, I think I was going to say Hawaii, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say Kona Kashigo, Rick?
No.
Fuck, I love you so hard.
I feel like when I'm dumb, you like me better.
I do. It's hard to resist. It's just how do you put so much dumb in such a handsome face? I feel the same way about that miracle that you feel about cone snails.
They're amazing.
Where'd you find your cone snail?
On a research ship?
Did it happen to be called USS Sailor Ship?
Yeah, and it had a carving of a ship on its side.
Did it look like, you ever see a knife that looked like this, Margaret?
Maybe.
You can make it smaller and you can make it bigger. But it's so sharp, I just stabbed myself in the finger. It's okay. I have a high tolerance.
Is that evidence?
Ruby, again, this is stealing.
Do something.
They weren't doing anything.
She pulled it out of a lady.
A lady that they had left there for hours.
Days. We're backed up.
I promise I'll put it back.
You know, there isn't a ship that came by the harbor. Why are you're pointing your gun at me?
Just to be safe.
Rick, Margaret's my
I
friend.
didn't do
Put your
it.
gun away.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But what do you know? There's something you know that you're not telling us, Margaret.
You're a good detective, Ruby. You'll figure. No.
I pointed at myself. I was like, are we giving out compliments to everyone? Sorry, I'm gonna go wait in the car.
Don't go, Rick.
Okay.
Put my whiskey down. Now go wait in the car.
There's some new folks in town. I know that got off the ship. I didn't see everybody, but just look for who's new in the whole town.
All right, Margaret. Hey,
But
thanks.
I do love hard.
I know you do. What do you think, Mackenzie? Do you love snails? What do you fucking love, Mackenzie? Well, maybe I'll teach you how to love later tonight. We went back to the police station. I thought maybe I should put the evidence where it belongs. Not that anybody down there knew anything about how to process evidence or to put two and two together. If there was ever a police station that needed somebody like me, it was the Kashigo City Police Department. But what do they fucking know? Nothing.
Hey guys. My friend is gonna come hang out here for just a little bit.
You got a date?
Yes. Yeah, she's a dame. Just a dame.
Don't you think that might be a little distracting?
Yeah, I do, except sometimes I think best when I'm with the dame, you know?
Rick's got a date. Rick's got a date.
Yeah, come on in. Rebecca?
There's somebody that's literally holding evidence in her hands.
Did you just call me Rebecca?
Yeah, Rebecca Rambo.
I know who this is. Ruby Rocket. Your hourglass figure precedes you. I'm a new transfer, new to this police station. As you can tell from my vaguely European accent, I could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
Hi, Stan.
What's up, Ruby? You thought you're gonna pass one over on me, Rick? I know this is Ruby. Is Ruby short for Rebecca? If you were wondering, yes, they are a bunch of idiots.
But Ruby, is Ruby short for Rebecca?
No.
Okay. It was a valid question.
Rocket. Is Rocket short for Rebecca?
When I walked in and I saw that new transfer, I felt like I had been hit by a ray of sun that burned right through my skull from the front, right between my eyes, and then shot out the back of my head like a bullet, and then came back in through my guts, and then back through my legs. Have you ever felt like that, Mackenzie? Are you fucking kidding me? His skin was tan with sunshine, like he was from somewhere north where the sun is closer to the earth. Because you know, the further north you get, the closer to the sun you are. And his eyes were the brightest blue that I had ever seen. And it was like he was creating his own sunlight, and it was coming out and hitting me. And suddenly, all those stupid cops, including Rick, meant nothing to me anymore. For the first time in my life, I couldn't even see Rick anymore.
I like to have two guns at all times.
I like to have one, but I just keep it in my hand.
I respect that.
1, 2.
I don't know where mine is.
Have we finished processing the crime scene?
That's me?
Do you know what that means, Rick? Do you know what processing the crime
Yeah, I
scene?
know what that means, Giuseppe.
That's right, Giuseppe is my name. It's a very traditional Norwegian name. I don't know if you know this, Ruby, but in Norway, the sun is closer to the earth. I do know that, Giuseppe.
Your tongue's doing that weird thing, Ruby.
I just hear some sound, but I don't know what it is. When did you get to Kashigo, Giuseppe? I showed up 2 weeks ago. Watch out. Don't sit on this gun. You can sit on my other gun. I'd be happy to. It's got 2 barrels. I don't know what that means. I think I do. I got here 2 weeks ago and I came straight to work. They hired me from Norway to clean this place up. It's been a real mess, and they don't even know where to start. They need some good police work around here. I try my best, but I have to be honest. These 2 chuckleheads really make my life pretty difficult. How can I help? I don't know. Maybe if I saw your raincoat on the floor next to my bed, it would boost morale or something. Is that sexist? It's the 1930s. Who cares? Sounds good to me. You got a place? I do. It's in a seedy part of town, down by the docks. Do you know the docks? I know the docks like I know the pattern of my gun handle, which is really well. Good to know. You smoke a cigarette like a baby eating for the first time. We left the police station, went down to the shithole apartment they put him up in. Turned out, it was in the same building as my office, just 1 flight down. We got ourselves comfortable. Do you mind if I keep my coat on but take my dress off? Not at all. Do you mind if I floss my teeth but not brush them? Not at all. That's how we do it in Norway. What else can you tell me about Norway? Have you ever thought, when you looked at a fish, that what you would like to do to it is to dry it out in a bucket of salt, wait several years, and then put it in some water to reconstitute it and then call it soup? That is Norway. Sounds incredible. I've always dreamed of reconstituting dried fish into soup. Ruby, I have to be honest with you. You seem like trouble. Seems like I might get wrapped up in your vagina and never get out. I'm not gonna lie to you. You wouldn't be the first. Is that the screams I've been hearing since I met you? They're trapped in there, aren't they? They are. The ghosts of all my lovers haunting my vagina. But not everyone hears it, though it's incredibly loud. Indeed. Maybe what you need is an exorcist. Ruby, no! This is against every reason why I came to this place. I came to clean things up, not to muddy the waters. You're not supposed to be working. What the hell? You're not supposed to be working for the police department, even though we all know you're the best cop there, even though they'd never call you a cop because you're a woman. You know that already? You've only been in town 2 weeks? Yes, but I wasn't born yesterday. I know how things work. You're very attractive, Ruby, but I have to stay the course. I have to do what I came to this place to do.
We can get to that.
Your touch is so sensual.
When I went in for the kiss, I saw over his shoulder his suitcase. And what was in that suitcase? What was in the suitcase, Mackenzie? A third gun. And what was next to that third gun? A journal. That's right. And in that journal that laid open, I could see the word Hawaii.
Oh, you weren't supposed to see that. I do some morning pages because I'm following the artist's way. These are for me, for no one else's eyes but mine.
Why are you writing about Hawaii?
Because it's where my heart is. Why do you ask?
Why do you ask why I ask?
Why do you ask why I ask why you ask?
Why do you ask?
Why? You're a good detective, I can tell.
What else you got in this suitcase?
Oh, well, some supplies for face painting. I like to do that on the side on the weekends. I paint children's faces in parking lots. It's a hobby, I don't know. My mom did it and I just kept doing it because I thought it was fun.
What about this flowered necklace? They have flowers like this in Norway?
No. Flowers don't grow in Norway.
That's what I thought. What about this ticket? Direct flight from Kona to Kashigo.
It was very expensive. Non-transferable. I save it for my scrapbook. I like to do scrapbooking as well.
You're everything I've ever wanted in a man.
Did you see that thong bikini in there too? Imagine what my body looks like in that thing.
2 pieces.
One for each one of my testicles.
I think there's something you're not telling me. I think maybe you're not from Norway. Do you surf in Norway?
You can?
Can you?
I don't know. I'm guessing. Fine, Ruby, you got me. I'm not from Norway at all. I'm not fooling anyone with this brilliant accent.
You're from Hawaii.
That's right. This is clearly a Hawaiian accent. I couldn't get a job in the police force. Being from Hawaii, I had to lie and tell people that I was from the place where the sun touches the earth.
Everyone knows Norway makes the best cops.
It's true. Nobody believes in a cop from Hawaii. They think we're backwards, people that dance with grass skirts on. That's just a very small part of our culture. A very few people do that. I'm not out in my backyard roasting pigs every goddamn day. Damn it!
I understand.
What are you getting at, Ruby?
Well, I think it's interesting that you've been in town just a couple weeks, and it happens to be the couple of weeks that we've had crimes like we've never had before. And they sent you here to help us solve these crimes before the crimes ever started to happen.
Huh.
that I'm responsible for these murders? I'm gonna be honest, Ruby. I have murdered a lot of people. But these aren't the murders that I did. I am a murderer. That's why I had to leave Hawaii. I killed a bunch of people. One lady I strangled with pearls. One lady I tickled to death. One lady I stabbed while she was on the phone call. This all happened when I lived in Hawaii. Very similar to the crimes here, but I did not do these.
See, Mackenzie, I never put down my gun. But he was so magical. I realized I had left my gun, and he had picked it up. Luckily, both his guns were still on the table, so we were okay. How is it that you came here having committed these same exact crimes? And they happened all over again, exactly the way they had happened before.
I know it seems very suspicious. In fact, I, too, thought, oh, this is weird. People are going to for sure think that I was the murderer. And then I remembered, I have a twin brother.
Holy shit! The idea of two men who look like that in one room immediately made my heart stop for 2 full minutes. I was dead. I saw the light and I was walking toward it and the angels were singing, and then I snapped back out of it.
The crazy part is that my twin looks nothing like me. I was greedy in the womb and I ate all the nutrients. He's very little. Maybe I didn't need to share that information.
Maybe you did. Where is he now?
I don't know. Maybe murdering someone else?
I guess we'll have to figure that out.
I guess so.
Or maybe I'm right here ready to murder you now.
Oh, God.
Surprise!
If you took everything about the one brother that was on a scale of 0 to 100, that was wonderful, and then you spun it to below, that was the creature that stood before me. He was hideous. He was horrible. He smelled bad.
Ruby, this is Ronaldo.
That is my name.
Put your gun down.
Put your guns down.
If you shoot me, one gun may die, but the other one will stay alive and shoot you, Ronaldo.
I may be really disgusting, but I'm not stupid.
Shit.
Ronaldo, don't do this.
You always had everything.
Knock, knock.
Rick, this was the perfect time not to say knock knock.
Sorry. But Ruby, something just occurred to me. Back at the police station, I feel like you were flirting with Giuseppe. And now you're in his apartment. A clue. Were you gonna sleep with Giuseppe?
Yes, Rick. Over and over and over again.
Okay.
Until we were both so exhausted and sore that we would fall into a sweaty pile in the dirty sheets, fall asleep and then wake up again and then do it again, and then fall asleep and do it again and again and again. Oh my gosh.
Don't stop. Keep talking about it. No! My big dramatic moment may have been interrupted by this big doofus.
Which one of us are you talking about?
I will not answer that question.
I think I have something that belongs to you.
doubt it.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
No. Nope. I have not. I haven't seen those before.
Ruby, he hasn't seen him. He can't be the murderer.
Damn you, Ronaldo! Tell her the truth. Tell her how you made it here, all the way from Norway, following me. I mean, from the other place we're from. Hawaii.
We went on a nice, long family vacation to Norway.
We stayed so long we thought we were from there.
We finally got back to Hawaii. I wanted to leave and make a name for myself. Good old Ronaldo. Selling seashells by the seashore.
That's right, so he stole one of my journals so he could copy, bit by bit, piece by piece, exactly the murders that I had committed.
Yes. Because I wanted to sell my shells. But I'll be damned if Giuseppe was gonna murder better than me. It makes sense.
Does it?
But now this is my murder. Giuseppe can't murder Giuseppe perfectly in front of nobody where he can't get caught.
I'm not sure what that means.
Who are you going to murder? Giuseppe?
Yes.
Wait.
Is this how it ends, Ronaldo?
3 guns!
Everybody stay where you are.
Like a baby eating for the first time.
Ruby, can I have one of the guns? I'm the only one in here who's not a murderer.
Damn you, Giuseppe.
Fine, Rick. Now we've solved murders that have happened here in Kashigo and in Hawaii. It's hard to believe somebody as beautiful as you could be so evil.
But it's super easy to believe that someone ugly could be evil. And that's because society teaches us wrong, okay? That's not us.
That's what we see in movies
Good one, Rick.
and read in stories.
Thank you.
Oh shit.
Ronaldo.
I just shot Ronaldo.
Oh, God.
This trigger in your gun is really easy, Ronaldo.
Stay back.
Giuseppe. It's just because I loved you so much that I wanted to kill you.
I'm so sorry. I should have let you play with me when we were children. Whenever you asked, I said, get away, you troll. Go away. No one wants you here. I ate all the nutrients in the womb so you would be ugly and tiny.
Somebody had to be so that you could be giant and gorgeous. It was worth it, Giuseppe. It was worth it.
Ronaldo. Are you guys seeing how sad this is? My brother's dying.
Yeah, go to him, go to him!
Just give me. I never loved you, Ronaldo. I never loved you.
And with that confession, Ronaldo died in Giuseppe's arms. Rick took Giuseppe in, and they left Ronaldo there for 3-4 days before a crew finally came, cleaned it up. But there was one lingering question that was still in my mind. Why did Margaret seem so guilty? So I went back to the docks to have a final word. Knock, knock.
It wasn't a new species of cone snail.
What was it?
It had already been discovered. It's just called cone snail number 2.
You know, Margaret, maybe you didn't discover it, but you could give it a better name.
Rick.
Sorry, it was just one of the voices haunting my vagina. Maybe you can name it after yourself, Margaret.
Oh, you think they'd let me do that?
I'd let you do that. Because I'm not going to tell Rick or any of the authorities about what you did. You knew that Giuseppe was a murderer. But he was bringing you those snails so you could study them. Weren't you?
Yes.
You were the reason he came to a shithole like Kashigo from Hawaii.
It was worth it to see those shells up close. Beautiful and splotchy.
All those deaths. Every single one, because you brought him here. You love those snails so much. You still think it was worth it?
Of course. I've never had anybody love me hard until Giuseppe's beautiful brother showed up. Just perfect in every way. Overlooked, small, like a cone shell, snail shell.
It's worse than I even thought.
Me too. Don't touch. Are you gonna let me go? Oh.
I'm gonna give you that. It'll make you feel better. It's nothing like a little vermouth to drown your grief.
Do
Don't
you
worry.
love Rick?
What?
Do you love him?
I love Rick. The way you love cone snails. And the way you love dead men who once remind you of cone snails.
You should tell him. Rick, tell him harder.
And I left her there. And I never told Rick or any of the authorities. You know why? Because Margaret knew how to fucking love. A person who could love that disgusting beast of a person that even his own twin brother couldn't love. That's a person who knows how to love. Do you want to learn how to love like that, Mackenzie?
Buy me dinner first.
Dinner? That doesn't take much then. I'll meet you back at the bar. Look over the menu and prepare yourself, because you don't know what you're fucking in for. And that is the case of the Puka shell.
Volunteers
Instagram, and that's how you can find out. Also, there's a accompanying comic book and cartoons, and there's a bunch of the art on our Instagram that you can see there. It's really beautiful. It's all done by Sam Neiman. And it ranges from cartoons to beautiful charcoals. It's all fantastic. And we have more shows this weekend that are super special. Amber and I will be doing a set tomorrow night at 9:30. So please come back and see that. It'll be a double header with Weird Ass, which is Stephanie Weir from Mad TV, and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and Bob Dassey, one of the greatest improvisers I've ever met in my entire life. He's also been on a bunch of things. And then they will be in a very special Ruby on Sunday. And then they'll all be guests on Late Night Special on Saturday at 9:30. So basically, don't leave till Monday. Thank you guys.